Boom. Hey! Johnny's 2 cents, Tina G, Lee Saunders, Kathleen Cross, Karen Purdy, Fox Hill Dreams, Misha Oliver, Michelle Warmoth, Susie Brizuela, Amanda Crawford, Punxsutawney Moe, Julianne Gautier, Watcher Soko, Patricia Haverkamp. Where am I? Jennifer Sawyer, Marie, Golden Lady P, Lucy, Synthfan, Stephanie L, Tanise, Sheila Bird, and BDD in the Heezy, Petty Deb, Gina Potter, Debbie Neiman, Shell Teresa, Eric, Weed Whacker Eric, Samantha Hawkins, Victorina, Patricia Haverkamp, Bernadette, Cindy C, Stella Baxter, Queen of the South, Pandora, M. Getz, Kelly Godwin, Jamie from Wisconsin, the Trump Reaper, Karen Purdy, your boy Ken, Samantha B, Jen Murphy, RJ, who is a woman, Lee Saunders. The echo is back, but don't worry about it. All right. Hey! Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad, and this is Storytime. All right, hang on a second. Nope. I'm trying to fix that echo. I do not know what the deal is. By the way, Haverkamp is also a fancy last name. We were talking about fancy last names, and they have 3 syllables, but Haverkamp, yep, that's 3 syllables. Fancy. Okay, I see. I also got Melissa McQueen in the Heezy. Phyllis Hatch got her second vaccine. Lisa Hathaway, that's another one. Yeah, Hathaway is good. Laurie B is here. Everybody is in the Heezy. Welcome, guys. Happy Friday Eve, as I like to say. You know, I swear to God, this echo is driving me batshit. That's part of the reason I'm late today, because I was having some more technical difficulties. There was a loud ringing in my ears, and I thought it had something to do. I have tinnitus. Does anybody out there have tinnitus? That's when your ears constantly ring loud ringing. It's annoying, and it's, varying degrees of annoying. But Sarah B says, "Yay, echo." I don't like it. Let's see. Maybe this. Chipmunk. Can you hear my chipmunk voice? No, you can't. Let's see. No, that's not it either. Anyway, this tinnitus, it was not tinnitus. It turns out it was my computer. Something screwy as usual with the computer. So I had to shut the whole damn thing down and then boot it back up and turn everything. Anyway, I'm late. Sorry, guys. Let me let me stop complaining and get this show on the road with our stories of the day. Stories of the day. President Biden made his first joint address to Congress. Today is officially 100 days of President Biden's tenure. Does he get a passing grade or a failing grade? We'll get into that. Can you separate artists from the artists? Should they be canceled or not? Why? Boy, speaking of cancel, Stephen Miller emerged from the crypt with some criticism for President Biden's speech. Last but not least, this jackass also had criticism for President Biden, and he is today's "You Raggedy Bitch." You raggedy bitch. This voice thing is really driving me bananas. I don't, let's see, echo? No, I don't want an echo. I'm looking at let's see, can you hear me now? Can you still hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah? I don't know. Sounds cool. Jennifer Rayner says it sounds cool. Yeah. Yes, better. There you go. Okay, good. Good. No echo now, and I can hear. Perfect. Wonderful. I still hear an echo myself, but whatever. So last night after the show, we did, wifey and I had some, and the kids had some lovely, very delicious barbecue, which is nice. Yeah, we like. And while we were having barbecue, wifey and I decided to catch up on season 4 of The Handmaid's Tale. Yo, if you guys have been watching The Handmaid's Tale, season 4 is available to stream now on Hulu. It's on Hulu. And if you haven't seen the show yet, I highly recommend it. It is an incredible story. It's disturbing. You know, it's basically, you imagine if Mike Pence became president and then he had an indefinite term, you know, for whatever, and then decided to declare war on Americans and enslave women, that whole thing. It's crazy. Many people have read the book and they say the book is better than the show, but this show is incredible. And we're only one episode deep into season 4, but so far, it is impressive. So I highly recommend this show if you haven't seen it yet. Disturbing and yet so good. Hey, Jen and Fat Tony said, disturbing and yet so good. Perfect. Is the whole series on Hulu? Watcher Soko wants to know. Yes, it is. Watch it. It's very binge-worthy, extremely binge-worthy. The book is always better. That's right, Cha-Cha, indeed. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on in with my late ass on quick hits. Hit that some of my bee. Some of my bish. That bishness. Quick hits. All right, first up at the top of the hour, some of you may remember this gentleman on the screen right now. His name is Ahmaud Arbery. And as you may recall from last year, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered. He was murdered by 3 racist white men who they basically tracked him down while he was jogging. He was just going out for a jog, and they deliberately forced a confrontation which ended in his death. So today, those 3 bastards have been indicted by the feds, and I hope they throw the entire book at them, because that was straight up a hate crime and they need to go down for it. So that's good news. You know, President Biden's Department of Justice. You know what? Actually, I shouldn't even call it President Biden's Department of Justice. I can just now say the Department of Justice because, as President Biden pointed out recently in an interview, he said, "It's not my Department of Justice. I don't determine who gets prosecuted and who doesn't get prosecuted. That's not up to me. That's up to the Attorney General." So it's nice to actually finally have our own Department of Justice that's interested in upholding the law. Okay, that's much better. All right, now this picture here, do not adjust your screens. What you are seeing is a man's hand bending over to pick up a dandelion, and you see just the edge of someone's shoe. Well, that someone's shoe is Dr. Jill Biden being presented a dandelion on their way to Marine One as they were on their way to go and visit President Jimmy Carter and his lovely wife, Rosalynn. And so immediately, as soon as I saw Jimmy Carter trending, I'm like, oh my God, no. You know, because Jimmy Carter, he's not a spring chicken. He's up there in the years. But he's fine. Rosalynn is fine. So this visit is now President Biden's third visit with former presidents. You like it? You like it? And those three are President Carter, President Bush, and President Obama. He will not be making a fourth. Okay, but yeah, everything's fine. And I just love the fact that we have a president right now who can take the time out of his schedule just to appreciate the love he has for his wife and share just a small token of his love with her publicly. That's fantastic. Oy. This is Senator Joni Ernst, and normally I wouldn't have her on this show, but the reason I have her on this show is because Twitter got me once again. Twitter got me, not today, it was yesterday. Yesterday, I saw Abolish Lasagna was trending. I was like, what monster wants to abolish lasagna? So apparently, Senator Ernst of the state of Iowa was doing a presentation about Liberal Fantasy Island. So I dutifully dove into that trend, and what I saw was shocking. So, wait a minute. So, actually, let me go forward here. So first, I saw this image here, and it says Liberal Fantasy Island. If you guys can't read, I'll read it for you. The first one says, expand the court. That's reasonable, right? And then below that, it says sex blimps. What is even a sex blimp? And below that, it says Marvelous Mrs. Maisel with a fist there. I don't even know what that means, but that's funny. Then on the upper right, it says only only gay people get to go to restaurants. And then below that, it says Green New Deal. And then below that, it says Abolish Lasagna. And really, my eye just kind of zoomed in on Abolish Lasagna. And the rest of it, I was like, I even ignored sex blimps. But Abolish Lasagna? How dare you? We fighting now. We fighting. But really, that was photoshopped. And the real presentation said, expand the court, tax increase, defund the police, end the filibuster now, Green New Deal, and abolish ICE, which is closer to reality. But the fact that I thought that this Photoshop thing was real, it's not. It's not a. It's not a shot against me. It's a shot against the. It's a shot against the GOP and how ridiculous they are. I mean, they already embarked on a campaign against Dr. Zeus and this whole thing with Mr. Potato Head and all their ridiculous performative outrage. Of course, when I see Abolish Lasagna, I take it seriously. That's where we are right now. That's where we are. Okay, Cindy says, lunacy, that is the GQP. Indeed, they are wackos, as Jen and Fat Tony pointed out just now. Speaking of wackos, we have this guy who somehow always manages to allow himself to be photographed in such a way that he looks like a serial killer. This is Stephen Miller. I should have said trigger warning before I posted his picture. So, like many other Americans, Stephen Miller tuned in to the Biden joint address to Congress. Unlike most Americans, he came away unimpressed. And in fact, he went so far as to say, look at this guy. I mean, he went as far as to say, he tweeted, "It is striking just how tedious and unoriginal the rhetoric was in Biden's speech. Also, no outreach, no bipartisanship, no surprises, no warmth, a lifeless and dry address." So this guy, not him. So this guy here is complaining about no warmth, lifeless and dry. This guy. So Twitter wasn't having it. Twitter was not having it at all. And the reaction, as you can imagine, was swift and fierce. This tweet is from John Fugelsang, who says, also, at no point did he mention stealing refugee children from their desperate parents with no system in place to ever give them back. And now it's time for me to feed Stephen Miller. This one here was posted by the USA Singers, who, by the way, they made a fantastic song last summer about George Floyd, the USA Singers. And they tweeted, tedious, unoriginal, no warmth, lifeless and dry. Stephen Miller just described what sex is like in his house. Oh, Liz Krill likes my specs. Thank you. This is one of the two pairs of specs that the audience here helped me select live on camera. This one is from my buddy Jay Reeling, who tweeted, Stephen Miller took a break from his snacking on the dead flies on his windowsills to call Joe Biden's speech lifeless. This was a very good one. I like this one. Yeah, so as you can imagine, most people disagreed with Stephen Miller's assessment of the Biden speech last night. In fact, as we heard, 85% of Americans who watched the speech came away impressed with it. 85%. So I don't know if that means that the majority of people watching it were Democrats, but you know, there was a lot of stuff in there for Democrats and Republicans, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But you guys know what time it is. It is time for the timeline, a cleanse. Timeline cleanse. Yeah, I can't do the voice modulator thing today. Something's wrong with my audio, so I gotta fix that. So anyway, first up, most people I know here in real life and on Twitter would agree that it is preferable to rescue animals. dogs and cats and dogs, etc., to rescue as opposed to buying them, or breeding them or whatever. But most people have yet to see a kitten rescued by a dog. I bring that to you now. Okay, there's a little pup. We're going to zoom in right there, and you can see he's got a little kitten in tow. Little kitty, come on, kitty. Come on, don't get lost. You're already lost. I'm trying to get you somewhere where you can be warm and dry and fed. Come on, hop up, hop up. Here we go. Yeah, they're very good. Okay, one more. Come on. Yep, good. Got you. And there it is. There it is. I've never before seen a puppy rescue a kitten. So that was beautiful to me. That's what this timeline cleanse is all about. Now, this next one isn't necessarily so sweet. It is as unusual as it is to see a dog and a kitten, coexisting nicely. Even more unusual sight is to see a cat and an owl coexisting. And that pretty much went down the way you could imagine. First of all, why is there an owl on the couch? Who let the owl in? Why is he not in a cage? What? Yeah. What? And my wings and claws beat your fur and teeth. Apparently. Yeah. This is bizarre. Seriously, why would you? And whoever's filming this is fine with this owl's talons on their leather couch. I have a problem with that. That would not be happening. And I would not allow an owl to harass my cat. Lisa Hathaway says the owl is from Hogwarts. There we go. Jennifer Rayner says, who let the owl in? Who? Stacy Mendenhall says, why would you buy a leather couch? You know what? I actually have a leather couch, and it is very comfy, except when it's hot and I'm wearing shorts. Gavin Rutherford, whose last name I explained to you all is Fancy. I make the rules here. He says, very dangerous for cat. I agree. Okay, last but not least, have you guys seen Godzilla, the movies, the Godzilla movies? It doesn't have to be the most recent one, the Godzilla versus King Kong. It can have been the old ones too, like the ones I was watching when I was a kid in the rubber suit, The thing that always puzzled me is that these guys keep shooting at Godzilla, and they don't even acknowledge the fact that, we're just kind of pissing him off. These bullets and these missiles are not doing anything except making him stronger and making him angrier, right? So I would love to see a movie where the pilot of one of those military jets, those Air Force jets, kept it real.
Go ahead and fire on Godzilla.
Yeah, that's a big no from me, Command. No.
Do your Roger. Fire on Godzilla.
Yeah, no, I Roger you. Roger this. No fucking way. Dude, have you been watching it out there? Missiles do nothing. It just makes him mad, and then he grabs us out of the air and smashes us, or he grabs us out of the air and chucks us into another one of the big guys. So, you do it. No.
You'll be court-martialed and thrown in jail. Do you understand that, soldier?
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. That's fine. I'm going to fly this bitch to Fiji.
Go ahead and fire on Godzilla.
Yeah, that's a big no from me, Command.
That was great. That was one of those random videos that I happened to stumble upon and I bring to you because it was funny. More realism in our fantasy movies is what I want. That's what I want. I want some serious. I want a horror movie that lasts 5 minutes. That's what I want. I want a horror movie where you hear the scary music, where you hear growling coming from the other side of the door, and then you see the protagonist, the main characters, you see them walk up to the door and they're like, no, we should leave. We should leave this house immediately. I don't care. Let's burn it down. I'm not staying one more second. We're out. The end. Just cut to the chase, man. You don't need to go and investigate. You're not Scooby Doo, trying to find out who's haunting your house. Realism in fantasy. That's what I want. If I were president, I would demand all movies make their premises more realistic. Okay. As you guys know, you already know. You already know what I'm going to say. Because my late ass is late, I got to skip the roll call today. I'm sorry. Because I certainly did see some new names in our audience, and I would like to welcome you guys. Those of you who, if this is your first time, please remember, if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, please hit the like button. You guys proud of me? I remember to say hit the like button. Hit the like button before you go take a powder. And I appreciate you guys. I do. I got a lot of stuff for you. I did prepare quite a bit today. Our first bit is President Biden's first joint address to Congress, which happened last night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this was different. This was a different speech because, for one, it was a very limited. Thank you, Tina G. Tina G is proud of me for remembering. This was a very limited audience because of COVID restrictions. You can't pack that thing to capacity. It can fit 435 bodies. But they had social distancing in place. They had everybody wearing a mask, even the stupid members of Congress. Lauren Boebert was wearing a mask. Ted Cruz was wearing his stupid mask. All those people. And to begin with, right, when Joe Biden walked in, he's handing out fist bumps. So I guess fist bump is now the new official, new COVID handshake. It's the fist bump. It's still contact, but it's less. I guess it's the knuckles, right? This picture here is going to cost Liz Cheney, is going to cause her a lot of grief because there she is, fist bumping the president of the United States. Shouldn't be a big deal, right? We were all talking about bipartisanship and reaching across the aisle. He is literally reaching across the aisle to a member of the Republican Party. Why would you have a problem with this if you want bipartisanship? You only scream bipartisanship when your ass is in the sling and we're trying to nail you down for that insurrection you mounted on January 6th. That's the only time you care about bipartisanship. Oh, we can't impeach the president because bipartisanship. Shut the hell up. All right, so here's another now famous historic bump. This is Vice President Kamala Harris and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. And at the very top of President Biden's speech, he made sure to note that this is the first time a president has uttered the words, "Welcome, Madam Vice President Kamala Harris and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi." That was an historic moment, and I was very proud to be watching it. I felt strong. Now, I see Watcher Soko saying herstory, right? And it's funny. I think I told you guys, like, I can't win that one because, one time I tweeted something that included the word Shiro, and people were all over me. What do you mean Shiro? It's hero, blah, blah, blah. I thought you were feminist. I'm like, what? Huh? So I tweeted historic, and then people were like, historic. Fine. Whatever. Anyway, his speech was historic. And at the very top of his speech, President Biden somehow managed in a speech that for the rest of the night, no Republicans wanted to touch hands together. They were clapping like this. President Biden got the entire room to give a standing ovation, and for all things, it was for the vaccine.
Go and get the vaccination. They're available. You're eligible now.
Look at Ted Cruz. Even Ted, yeah, I'm going to just play that again. Quick.
Go and get the vaccination. They're available. You're eligible now.
Every Republican in that room stood and applauded. I'm not sure if that was intentional or he just kind of caught them by surprise. You know, that was a swift, slick move. Anyway, for the remainder of the night, the GOP managed to sit on their hands and not clap for anything, despite the fact that everything President Biden was bringing up was popular and good and decent. Look at Kamala Harris pointing. She's like, look at those crusty buzzards over there not putting hands together. Shame on them. But yeah, President Biden, first, he noted that in his first 100 days, promises made, promises kept. He got 200 million shots in arms in under 100 days, which is remarkable. But then he mentioned a whole lot of other initiatives and ideas, like cutting child poverty in half. Like getting the rich, getting millionaires. Yes, Fox Hill Dreams pointing out Lauren Boebert was texting lies during the speech. I have a picture of that too. Cutting child poverty in half, getting the rich to pay their fair share of taxes to help enact a lot of his initiatives to help rebuild America. He also said some fantastic things. He said trickle-down economics never worked. He never lied when he said that because it never worked. And that's why it's time for us to build from the bottom up. The people at the bottom should be getting the money. And yeah, Republicans don't like that because it sounds a whole like redistribution of wealth. So redistribute that shit. I also appreciated the fact that he said white supremacy is terrorism. Why do I appreciate that? A, because it's true. B, because Donald Trump never said it. And C, because it is important to start addressing the elephant in the room. And by the elephant in the room, I'm not intentionally making a pun on Republicans, but so be it. That is the biggest threat. It's not Islamic terrorism. They used to get on President Obama's case for never saying the words radical Islamic terror. Well, he did say it. And then here is Joe Biden addressing the threat that both the FBI and the CIA agree that white supremacist terror is a major danger to America. More people have been killed by white supremacist terror than by any other group. And here, so here we have Ted Snooze, who is dreaming of another trip to Cancun. This is during the speech.
If you actually want to solve a problem, I've sent a bill to take a close look at it. We also have to get at the root problem of why people are fleeing, particularly if you actually want to solve
You know, they were calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. They were calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe. Ted Snooze is at least half President Biden's age, and he can't bother to keep his eyes open. That's disrespectful. That's just straight up disrespectful. It's not one of those Joe Wilson "you lie" moments, but it's still no less disrespectful. Um, Here we have, as we mentioned earlier, Lauren Boebert on her phone texting or tweeting nonsense during the presentation. And on her lap, you can see she's got one of those space blankets, uh, presumably to keep her warm, but really she was trolling President Biden about the situation at the border. And, none of them were allowed to bring gifts. They couldn't bring, not gifts, guests. They couldn't bring somebody to sit next to them, like, a refugee or member of the military. So she brought the next best thing, a visual prop. So stupid. And here we have Mitt Romney, who certainly did not approve of Joe Biden's suggestion that he, owner of an elevator for his vehicle, should pay extra taxes in America. In fact, he once again repeated his pledge that nobody who makes less than $400,000 will see 1 penny of an increase on their taxes. Everybody who makes more than 400,000, pony up. It is what it is. Anybody who makes $400,000, that's rich. That is rich. I don't care what state you live in. That's rich. That's rich for New York. Certainly is rich for the middle of the country or Texas or Florida or wherever where they pay lower taxes. It's time to pony up. Do your bit. For far too long, it's been the middle class and the poor supporting this nation. It's time to flip the script. You can't get away from that. And more importantly, while Mitt Romney is taking a snooze now, Joe Biden said the word jobs 43 times during the speech. So some people said President Biden's speech was unremarkable. Here is Mitch McConnell unimpressed when Joe Biden said, "Buy American," but I don't want to buy American. A lot of the best prices I get are from China. No, I don't want to do that. Not one bit. No, sir. But despite the fact that Joe Biden, when he spoke mostly in a low tempered voice. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't bombastic. He kind of just leaned in and spoke to you like he was grandpa letting you in on his plan, and he spoke directly to the American people, which I definitely appreciated. It was no fireworks. It was no, soaring oratory style with his speech. He was just very matter of factly. I loved his speech. He speaks like a regular guy. And so overall, I give him an A grade. And I'm not just giving him an A because I voted for the guy. If he's not doing what I expect, I will grade accordingly. As with any Joe Biden speech, I'm always kind of holding my breath until it's over because I'm afraid he's going to stumble in a way that's, that helps to justify the bullshit things about him having dementia or whatever. I'm waiting. And he did that whole thing. He was right on the money. He was right on point. That was a well-written speech, and he knocked it out of the park. So that's that for, that's all I have to say about the Joe Biden's joint address to Congress. Let's move on now to his first 100 days in office. It has been a very eventful 100 days, and it's amazing how much you can get accomplished when your mind is not focused on golf and Twitter. Seriously, the tweets he posts, I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's posting half of those tweets, and I don't care. I don't care. I think he's got a staffer who is posting half of his tweets. I'll be 100% perfectly honest with you. I don't think he's posting half of those tweets. Um, but it doesn't matter because none of the tweets he's posting are incendiary. They're not insulting. They're just basic politics jargon. And it's just basically, we can rebuild America. You know, we're fighting for you and this and that. It's just regular run of the mill positive politics stuff. Nothing crazy. So I like that. I do like that. That's number one. Number two, he has only golfed one time. At this same point in Donald Trump's first 100 days, Donald Trump had already golfed 19 times. 19. So, what has he accomplished so far? First off, see you later, Jamie from Wisconsin. What he's accomplished is first, he wrote a whole shitload of executive orders that either reverse or cancel a lot of Donald Trump's policies, which is fantastic. And here we have a little. I have a little graph here. In the red, it says reversals, and gray, it says other executive actions, and it lists from the top: coronavirus, immigration, equity, economy, environment, national security, other, healthcare, labor, census, ethics, and regulation. So you can see all the red. Those are all the things President Biden reversed from Trump's policies. Right at the top, we have the American Rescue Plan. You may recall this was $1.9 trillion that got approved through Congress and got checks into the hands of Americans. Exactly 160, well, not exactly, but 160 million people have already received stimulus payments, equaling at least $1,400 for one person, and $80 billion in aid to beef up education efforts. $350 billion has been sent to states and local governments. He's expanded food assistance. He's extended moratoriums on evictions until September. You know, he's given people a break on the college tuition. The Trump people wants to know, will there be another stimulus check? I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but it's already like $1.9 trillion was a lot of money. I'm not sure they're going to go down that road again. We had to fight as it was just to get this check, but you never know. It could happen. Schools, right? So the big concern was getting schools reopened. And right now, 65% of students in grades K through 12 are now receiving in-school learning. This is big. This is at least a 30% uptick in school openings from under Trump. So this is important because a lot of parents actually need to get back to work, and having their kids in school instead of home learning helps make that happen. So that's big. Healthcare. President Biden reopened the ACA exchange, the Affordable Care Act exchange, Obamacare, in February. And you may recall Trump, when the pandemic first hit, Trump said he wasn't going to reopen the healthcare exchange. So Biden has done it. He's left it. He's leaving it open until August. So if you don't have healthcare right now, go on the website, healthcare.gov, and get yourself some healthcare, some affordable healthcare. That is very big because, we are still, despite the fact that less people are wearing masks and more people are getting vaccinated, we're still in a pandemic, folks. So healthcare is big. Immigration. So immigration is probably going to be a low grade for President Biden for a while until he can break the logjam on the whole immigration debate. Immigration has been a problem for decades. For decades, politicians have been trying to figure out how to get it done. They haven't gotten it done. So while you can't 100% blame the situation at the border, and that situation is dire, there are like thousands of people down there, and they're kind of stuck in limbo, stuck in the system. They can't move forward, they can't move back. So it's not 100% his fault, but it is his problem now. He is the president, and regardless of who started it, he's got to finish it. He's got to own that. So he's put Vice President Kamala Harris in charge of fixing this situation. I haven't heard any progress on this yet. It's going to be a while. So this is one sore sticking point. Foreign policy. We finally have a president in the White House who is not afraid to look Vladimir Putin in the eye and say, yo, don't try that shit with us again. I am not the orange guy and I will beat you down. Well, he didn't say he'll beat him down, but he told him, look, there will be consequences if you try that shit again. And he already hit them with sanctions. So he's not messing around. This is shit that Spanky was afraid to do. Afghanistan, he's already going to be bringing soldiers home officially. I believe it is May 1st? No, it's not May 1st. It's August. He's bringing the troops home from Afghanistan. This is big. We can't have a never-ending, nonstop war, a nonstop occupation, and people argue and they say, well, we can't leave because the Taliban is going to attack. But you know what? It's time for them to handle shit on their own. We've been there 20 years. If not now, then when? So we're out of there. Climate change. President Biden promised that he was going to host a global climate summit, and promise delivered. That is exactly what he did just a week or two ago. And he's also committed to reducing our, reducing our emissions by 50% by the year 2030. And this is an issue that is very important to the young folk. It's important to us too, the old folk. We want to pass a livable, breathable world onto our children and our grandchildren and our grandchildren's grandchildren, so we have to act decisively and we have to act now, and it's got to be urgent. And it's good to see that it is such a high priority on his list that on day one, he committed to get us back into the Paris Accord, which the former guy got us out of. The cabinet. The president's cabinet is by far in history the most diverse cabinet in history. He's got women, he's got people of color, he's got people that are LGBTQ. He's got the first Native American woman. It's a very broad, diverse cabinet that looks like America. And that's important. That's, again, is very important. Why? Because people who are represented in that group, they can look up there and see, wow, I can be a member of the presidential cabinet one day. It is possible. I won't be discriminated against because of who I am or what I believe or who I love. So first trans also. Thank you, Cindy. Yes, first trans. This is big. And infrastructure, finally, after 4 years of fake infrastructure weeks, we finally have movement on getting our bridges and roads and buildings all upgraded and fixed. It's long overdue. This country is crumbling. And the fact that he has expanded infrastructure to include things like broadband and elderly care and things like that, that you wouldn't normally consider infrastructure. If it's not a road or a railway, it's not infrastructure. No, all those things are necessary for our country to thrive and survive. He doesn't want us to just survive. He wants to build us back better. It's more than just a slogan. President Biden right now is acting like he wants to make a humongous mark with his presidency on improving this country. He doesn't seem like he's doing it for accolades. You didn't see him in that speech last night talking about how great he is. He's talking about you, the American people. It's important. And so I give President Biden a solid A- on his first. No, I'm going to say, yeah, I'm giving him a solid A- on his first 100 days, maybe a B+, B+, A-. We used to get those grades, B+, A- in school. So yeah, so that's that. And last but not least, it's actually not last. This next topic here, this is kind of difficult, but the other night, Wifey and I were talking about, would you watch The Cosby Show? And would you enjoy it, right? So the name of this section is Artist versus Art, to cancel or not. It's a real issue because you know what? Over the years, right, we've seen quite a few people get canceled. Most of them were deserving of being canceled. Now, they call it cancel culture. Really, it should be accountability culture, whatever it is. The whole act of canceling someone, it means that you have to pay a price for your shitty behavior. Drugging the drinks of dozens of women, of one woman, and then taking advantage of her, assaulting her sexually, you got to go away to jail for that. But it took 50 women to step up and, and make him go away. It took 50 women. And so Fox Hill Dreams is asking the question, so can we cancel Trump? He can't be canceled. Can't be canceled. See, in my opinion, being canceled there's several factors involved. How popular are you? How much do people care if you remain in their face? He's got his own base that loves him even if he were to eat a live baby on TV. They would still love him. They will follow him through the gates of hell and back. But as far as separating the artist from the art, who does canceling affect the most? If you cancel The Cosby Show, that means you're also canceling Felicia Rashad or Malcolm Jamal Warner, or or any of these other, Lisa Bonet. You're canceling all of them. And should all of them be held accountable for the actions of the one asshole who was in their midst? I don't think so. They weren't the ones they didn't tell him to go and do what he did. He did what he did. And there's also producers and, members of the crew, And so if The Cosby Show were to come on TV and you happen to watch it and enjoy it, should you feel guilty? Should you feel guilty for enjoying The Cosby Show? You've already watched it and enjoyed it before. All of a sudden, you can't enjoy it? You can enjoy the rest of the cast members and all that. I think you can still, I mean, personally, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it, but if it came on and I'm watching all of a sudden and I laugh, I'm not going to hell for that. So that's how I feel about that. Now, here we have Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein, rightfully described as a monster. Why? Because he used his power and his authority and his wealth to destroy women based on his lewd sexual grossness. Disgusting. And here he is in this picture with a walker trying to summon sympathy for his filthy, disgusting ass. So should he be canceled? Absolutely. Yes. 1000%. Never want to see his ass again. After this slide here, I don't never want to see his crusty face ever again. Unfortunately, Harvey Weinstein was involved he executive produced movies like Pulp Fiction, Lord of the Rings, Kill Bill, and dozens of other movies that you have watched and enjoyed and loved. Does it mean you can't watch those anymore? No. Doesn't mean that at all. Doesn't mean that at all. So in this instance, separating, well, he's not even really an artist. He's the executive producer. But again, if you're being a purist with this canceling shit, there's a lot of people who are purists about it. I don't want anything to do with anybody who had anything to do with this guy, period. But I think you can still watch Pulp Fiction, Lord of the Rings, and Kill Bill and the rest of those movies and, and screw him, You say one Hail Mary and one fuck Harvey Weinstein at the beginning and the end of the movie, and then you're fine. Here's R. Kelly. R. Kelly, those of you who are not familiar with R. Kelly is a pedophile. He's infamously engaged in lewd sexual acts with teenagers well below the age of 18. Well below. It's disgusting. So, yeah. So when in the 90s was when he first came out with, that Bump and Grind. And then later on, he came out with I Believe I Can Fly. And those songs, a lot of people were grooving to those songs. People were making babies to his songs. But now, when I hear the name R. Kelly, I have to suppress the urge to gag. He's disgusting. I will not listen to his music. No. If it comes on and I'm at a party or something, I will not dance. I will not tap my feet to it, despite the fact that I at one point enjoyed it. Because here, the artist, in my opinion, the artist and the art, the music he created, they're too smushed together. Too smushed together. And the fact that he did this interview with Gayle King and he had the audacity to stand up and try to holler, dude, you're not making your case any better with that. No. What the hell is his name? I have his name somewhere. Why can't I remember his name? He's been off of TV for so long. Kevin Spacey. Excuse me. Kevin Spacey was the star of House of Cards, and accusations came up that he sexually harassed young men, and that was it. They wrote him out of the show, and I haven't seen. He used to be in just about every movie that came on, and all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. I haven't seen him in anything ever since. It's been a few years now. So, Kevin Spacey. Can you enjoy a movie with Kevin Spacey? Probably. But, and I think the charges against him were dropped in one case, but the damage is pretty much already done, I think. I don't know. Does he have a chance to rehab his image? He'd have to come forward and do a serious mea culpa and say, look, I am 1000% against sexual harassment and assault and all that stuff. He's got to do something, or maybe he doesn't care. Louis C.K. was a comedian that I used to enjoy a great deal. A great deal. I enjoyed him. I thought he was funny as hell. And then one day it came out that he was forcing women, other female comedians. He'd like lock the door and force them to watch him pleasure himself. Mm, 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 mm. I'm done with Louis C.K. There's plenty of other comedians out there who have funny shit to say. I don't have to subject myself. I can't separate my feelings of disgust from my desire to want to laugh. I can't. So you're out. Come on. Here's a very tough one, and this one was the one that made me decide to do this bit. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, for a little more than a decade, in fact, I think several decades, there were allegations against Michael Jackson for sexual abuse of minors. We've all heard this story, and me personally, I would never allow my child to sleep over with an adult. Never. Now, there was a special that came out recently called Finding Neverland, in which there were, these allegations were revisited. And at least two of the people who had filed lawsuits against Michael Jackson, their cases were dismissed by the judge, which a lot of Michael Jackson fans are taking as vindication. Like, yeah, hey, you see, we told you for years and years that he was innocent. This one is tough because it's murky. This basically boils down to a he said, she said. It also, if I'm being 100% honest, it also boils down to a lot of people like, can I deal with never ever singing Beat It or Billie Jean or The Way You Make Me Feel again or any of the dozens of Michael Jackson hits? Can I live without Michael Jackson's music? A lot of people have asked that question and they come away and say, no, I can't. I can't live without Michael Jackson. And yes, Chacha says Michael Jackson was very strange. Yes, but the fact that he was strange doesn't necessarily mean that he was a pedophile and that he's guilty of those things that he was accused of. I think a lot of the parents who sent their kids to stay with him, they might have had ulterior motives. Maybe they thought, you know what, if I send my kid there, all of a sudden I can say 2 years later, oh, he's assaulted them. And now, ka-ching, jackpot. He's a rich celebrity and now I'm getting paid. But I don't know. I personally feel like I want to give Michael Jackson the benefit of the doubt, not just because of his music, because if I felt that he really did those things, it would be hard to enjoy his music. I think he allowed himself to be in a situation that was hard to defend. Impossible to defend. They said he never had a childhood, and perhaps, he was having sleepovers and that's all they were. I just don't know. I don't know. This is a really tough one. But for now, it looks like a lot of people are saying that Michael Jackson has been vindicated and cleared of guilt. He's not even alive anymore to defend himself. So that really sucks. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, famous from the Lethal Weapon movies, from the Mad Max movies. He was a big movie star. And all of a sudden, in the early to mid 2000s, he had like a racist tirade on the phone with his girlfriend where he dropped the N word and he said a lot of other things, some anti Semitic stuff, and poof. He might have been one of the earliest people to be canceled back then. People didn't want to work with him. They didn't want him anywhere near his anywhere near their award shows. Only recently he has started to work again, but there's still a big stigma attached to Mel Gibson. The Jimmies, the late night Jimmies. We got Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon. Both of these guys, both of these immensely likable guys, did blackface. Now, I look at this and I want to know, when did they do it? Did they do it 2 years ago when you had to be out of your mind to do blackface? Or did they do it back when, before blackface was considered, you don't do it? Because a lot of people were actually doing it. I remember movies. I remember growing up, there was some movie, I think it was C. Thomas Howell did a movie called Soul Man, and he was in blackface. Nobody batted an eye. It was just like, oh, okay, it's art. It's just pretending to be a black man. Tropic Thunder with what the hell was his name? Robert Downey Jr. played a black man in blackface, but he was playing a white guy who had his skin chemically changed to be black for a movie role. But again, that was Robert Downey Jr. wearing blackface, and he hasn't been canceled. He's Iron Man, for crying out loud. He's Iron Man, right? It was a funny ass movie. I wasn't offended by Tropic Thunder. That shit was funny. So the Jimmies, they survived this round. They survived. They came out and they made an apology. They were very sincere with their apologies, I think. Case closed. They're still making money, still doing their thing. Michael Richards, aka Kramer from Seinfeld. He was doing a stand-up bit in a comedy show, and all of a sudden somebody was, yammering at him. They were heckling him, and he got so mad, he blew up, and he said, he talked about lynching, and he dropped the N-word numerous times, and people were like, what? And this was one of the first videos that actually went viral. And now he don't work at all. He does not work. Now, I still watch Seinfeld. I still watch Seinfeld reruns. I do. I freaking love that show. It's funny as hell. Am I going to stop watching Seinfeld because one of their characters had a really messed up day and exposed himself as being racist and then failed titanically in his effords to apologize after the fact? No, I'm not going to stop watching it, but it's always going to be at the back of my head that, yeah, you dropped the N-bomb quite a few times. But, so in this instance, I am separating the artist from the art. Gina Carano. It's a long list. There's a whole lot of people who got canceled for one thing or another. Gina Carano, formerly of the show The Mandalorian, she came under fire because she made some she dropped some tweets comparing conservatives to living during the Holocaust, and she was immediately clapped back, fired from Disney, as Tracy points out. And so, yeah, she's canceled. So she wasn't big enough, a big enough star for people to really rally to her defense and say, "Oh, that's not who she is." And also, she was kind of defiant in her posts, so she didn't act like she had learned anything from the experience. And this canceling shit, you want to see people learn a lesson. You're not just canceling, I think, you're not just canceling for the sake of, ha ha, I canceled you. No, you want there should be some redemption. There should be an option for people to say, you know what, I fucked up. I'm really sorry. That was very insensitive what I said and what I did. I apologize profusely, blah, blah, blah. That's what you want to see. And then move on with their lives. And it's like, all right, you good. You made your mistake, but you apologize. You good. J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling is anti-trans. She's anti-trans. She has one of the most successful book-to-movie franchises in history. The Harry Potter series, books and movies. She's a billionaire. She's a billionaire. But her social media comments are so hateful of trans people, how can you defend it? How can you defend it? People who have already read the books, they can't unread them, but can they support her future endeavors? They could, but they probably shouldn't. Should they boycott any further movies or TV shows spun out based off of J.K. Rowling? Maybe not. Unreal. This one shocked me. This one is Ellen DeGeneres, who is probably the most G-rated person on the planet. Ellen DeGeneres, right? She's G-rated. When you say Ellen DeGeneres, you think about the cute little old white lady who dances in her show, right? She dances, she wears the sneakers, and it came out that she had a hostile work environment. Poof. Canceled. Now, I think she still has a show, but the people who are in charge, bullying staff. Thank you. Lee Saunders and the Trump Reaper says Ellen was cruel to a lot of people. This is something you would never expect to hear about someone whose public persona is very different than what was reported in the background. I don't know if she made an adequate effort to apologize and to make amends to the people that she had hurt. I don't know. And if she did, would you forgive her? Does she deserve your forgiveness? Because that's really what canceling and uncanceling is all about. Can she go to therapy to change her ways? Maybe not. Once you hit a certain age, I think you are set in your ways. Lee Saunders says she did apologize. Roger Gray says he doesn't have any friends on Twitter. You guys, Roger Gray, somebody let me know, what is Roger Gray's Twitter account so I can follow him? How dare you not have any friends on Twitter? I'm your friend, Roger Gray. Give me your Twitter thing so I can follow you already, damn it. We need to fix that now. And this one, I think this is my last one here. I'm so sorry this segment is so long, but it was kind of important to me. You guys know I'm a TV and movie buff. And so things like this, it just makes me think like, well, shit, if these people screwed up in one way or another, are they deserving of forgiveness? Do we never forgive them ever? Chris Pratt, find out that he is a Trump supporter and he attends a church that is anti-LGBTQ. people are frequently on Twitter calling Chris Pratt, who here is pictured as Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers and all that shit. Does that mean I can't laugh at him in the movies anymore? He's part of movies that I really love. So, Pasta D is saying pedophiles, no. 100% agree. We cannot forgive the pedophiles. Nope. The racists? What about the racists? I think it depends if they are contrite enough. And if they say, you know what? If they come out and say, you know what I said was racist and it's wrong and I am going to do better, etc. Sheila wants to know, who is this dude? This is Chris Pratt. Yeah, he's from Jurassic World too. I've loved this guy in everything I've seen. Parks and Recreation, doesn't seem like a hateful Trumper kind of guy at all. It just seems like a sweet guy. He's married to that woman from the Scary Movies, comedy movies. Solid Blue Sister says, BDD, I disagree with you on many levels, but I respect your opinions. I thank you for that. Yeah, I don't always have a great take on everything, but I appreciate that I'm able to say things that may or may not be a good take or a bad take, and then I am forgiven because you understand that I am in the process of learning. I am dedicated to self-improvement. At this age, at the age of 53, I am still trying to improve myself. And I don't believe that I know it all or that I have all the right answers for everything. But you don't get to fix anything if you don't realize that you have a problem. If you're not willing to be open to correcting yourself. Yeah. And I think that's what cancel/accountability culture is all about. It's all about being pulled up on your shitty behavior, face the consequences if what you did is illegal or harmful, physically or emotionally harmful for someone. There should be consequences. Consequence culture. But if you've used incorrect pronouns with someone, if you were insensitive, things like that, things that you can easily correct, you shouldn't be canceled. I think you should learn from your experience. You should only be canceled if you refuse to learn and you refuse to accept that you did anything wrong. Then we kick you to the curb. All right, good Lord. I have really gone longer than I have ever gone before, and I'm not even finished yet. All right, last but not least, this is going to be the last thing. Because I can't not show it to you. I put it together. Raggedy Bish time. It's time for... Liz Krill says, I think your age is starting to show. Love those freaky pics with your wigs. I love those wig pics too. All right, so today's You Raggedy Bish is the senator from South Carolina who made his rebuttal. He made the GOP rebuttal last night to President Biden's speech. And there's one thing in particular. Oh, sorry. Corey Lord wants to know, what about the Rose Garden? As soon as I finish this, I will back up to the Rose Garden. So the one thing that Tim Scott said that got everybody up in arms was about whether or not the United States is a racist country.
Today, Kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all, by doubling down on the divisions we've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country. It's backwards to fight discrimination with different types of discrimination. And it's wrong to try to use our painful past to dishonestly shut down debates in the present.
See, I have so many problems with what he just said. I'm not even sure where to begin. But I will begin with the fact that I despise when people allow themselves to be used as that one black friend of the racist guy, the racist community of people. I hate it when they allow themselves to become an Uncle Tim or Uncle Tom or Auntie Candace Owens, you know, that they feel like, and these people who use them, they feel like, well, if I got a black guy saying it, I got more credibility. That's what it is. That's what it is. You know, and just because he's black doesn't mean what he's saying has any merit. I give you Diamond and Silk. They have nothing to say that is meritorious or sensible. Not even Candace Owens, the sellout. You know, none of these people. He posits a false argument, a straw man of an argument, saying that we're saying that no gains have been made. Nobody's saying that, Step and Fetch It. Nobody is saying that no gains have been made, but you want to stop progress? In the last year, we have more unarmed black men and women killed than I can count. Actually, I probably can count them, but I don't have another hour. And that points to systemic racism. Systemic. So, yeah, this country is racist. Still, it's not as racist as it was in 1960 or it was in 1865 when you could own a human being and treat them how you wanted. Yeah, nobody's owning slaves right now and beating them with a whip until they die. But it's different now. It's just different, and it's more covert. It's more, ingrained in the fabric of our racist country. I just said a few minutes ago that you cannot address or change something unless you recognize that you have a problem. I would still be a drug-addicted crackhead to this day if I wasn't dead already until admitting that I had a problem. You can't fix the problem until you admit it. And the fact that this jackass allows himself to be used by the GOP to lend their, we're not racist credibility. He's that guy when they say, I have friends that are black. He's that guy. He's that black friend. You do us all an injustice when you step out there and you contradict everything that is being said, despite the fact that they just convicted a guy for kneeling his knee on somebody's neck and killing him. And the fact that we were all enthused about it and shocked means that this system is racist. And this system exists in this racist country. Yeah, America is racist. Doesn't mean everybody who lives here is racist. It just means we live in a country that has racism as its underpinning foundation that allows shit like that to continue unpunished. So, yeah, I know you have to make your points with the people in your party, but it's disgusting, bro. It's disgusting. You are not bringing us forward. You're not helping us address and solve the problem. You're just putting lipstick on a pig. You're just putting perfume on a stinky, sweaty shirt. So, Tim Scott is today's You Raggedy Bitch. And I have for sure run out of time. I had most certainly wanted to do The Littlest President, but seriously, I'm already in such big trouble. We gotta have dinner, and I'm holding up I'm holding up progress here. But I want to thank you guys for letting me rant. I don't know how I ended up going this long. I didn't think I had that much content. I swear. Thank you, Rose Garden. Reminder. Let's see. Boom. There it is. Okay, so there is a petition out there right now. There's one I know of on Twitter to restore the Rose Garden. You see this picture? Let me enlarge this for you guys so you can see it better. Hello? All right. I can't enlarge it for some reason. Anyway, the picture on the left is before. That's before Melania Trump put her mitts on it. And on the right, that's the after. That's the after. There's no color in there. There's no life. It's disgusting. So as long as we have a president who's bending down to pick up dandelions for his wife, you know, let's bring the love back to the White House. Let's put it back in there. Let's feel human again. Yeah, can we bring it back? I think so. There's a petition out there, so sign it. Sign that petition. Find the petition and sign it. Gina Potter says she saw it and retweeted it. Misha wants to know, is that a sidewalk now? No. Yeah, actually, it does look like some kind of sidewalk there. It's just completely devoid of any warmth or any feeling. Gina Potter says Melania made it look as sad as she is. Yes, indeed. Corey, the petition is on the Twitter. It's out there on the Twitter. The Rose Garden. If you just Google Rose Garden, you'll find that. Not Google, excuse me. On Twitter, there's a search field, a search bar. You can search for anything. Just type it into that search field. It works in the same concept as Google. So just type in Rose Garden petition and boom, you'll find it. Sheila says she signed it already. Just like her Christmas trees. Yes, indeed. Guys, I want to thank you so kindly for letting me talk your ears off. If you have to go out tonight, I hope you do. Please wear your masks. 2 of them. Wear your gloves. Keep your social distance. 6 feet or better. Wait, let me turn this off here. There we go. 6 feet or better. And have a lovely, relaxing evening. I'll be here tomorrow, earlier. Same place. I love you all. Peace. Boom. Oh, I see. I am seeing a new viewer here. Guys, we have Anissa Cameron. Welcome, Anissa Cameron. We will be looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I see another one, Inner Locus. I'm seeing some new names. This is clever. I like it. Great job, Mod Squad. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. We love our Mod Squad. They allow us to enjoy. They are the guardians of the thumbs of doom. They dispense justice with their thumbs. Hey! Good God! Hey! Bon appétit. Bon appétit. Oh yeah. Hit that like button. Please to hit the like button. It looks like a thumb. Hey! Deborah Baldini says ciao. Ciao, Bella. Hey! This was quite a long show, but I feel much better now. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Now, you need to leave.